Hello chess lovers, Suren here with another fantastic game for you. With the white piece is playing Albert Sandrin and his opponent is Phil Cornu. This game was played in 1949 at the 15th US Open. Now let's see what happened on the board. Sandrin started the game with c4, English opening, and knight f6 by Cornu, knight c3 d5, c takes d5, knight takes d5, and g3. In return, black played g6 in order to fianchetto his kingside bishop, bishop g2, and bishop e6. Not the most popular continuation. Usually black is either playing knight b6 or is capturing on c3, but in our game we have bishop e6, knight f3, and only now we have knight takes c3, b takes c3, bishop g7, we see castling by both sides, and d4. With this move, white is opening up his bishop's diagonal and at the same time is like neutralizing black's bishop. c6, e4, bishop c4, black brought his light squared bishop on this f1, a6 diagonal, but of course white is still maintaining a slight advantage, no problem at all for white. Knight d7, bishop e3, queen a5, and knight d2. White is setting up a cheap trap. Of course here queen takes c3 can't be played because of this rook c1 move. That's why after knight d2 black moved back his bishop on a6, queen b3, c5. Black is challenging white's center, but now comes e5, a strong response. C takes d4, c takes d4, knight b6, and rook c1. Instead of playing rook c1, white could actually exploit the fact that black pieces are misplaced on the queen side. Queen b1 was very strong. With this move, white is freeing this b3 square for the knight in order to bring it on c5. And now if rook c8, then white can play knight b3, if queen a3, then knight c5. And if knight c4, then white can offer an exchange of queens, and after a takes b3, knight takes e3, f takes e3. Black's queen side is very vulnerable. White can even not hurry with capturing on a6, can play b4, and black is in trouble. This powerful knight together with the bishop and the rook can create a lot of problems for black. But in our game after knight b6 we have rook c1, rook c8, and rook c5. Of course not the strongest continuation. Bringing the knight on c5 could have given white better chances, but in our game we have rook c5, rook takes c5, d takes c5, and this is actually a crucial moment for black where black made a mistake and played knight d7, after which black is starting to face serious problems. Instead of knight d7 it was better to play knight c4. Black is simply making use of the spin, and if rook d1 then knight takes e5. This of course could have given black great chances, but in our game after d takes c5 we have knight d7, and now comes a powerful e6 move after which black is in trouble. Knight takes c5 was played, but now comes e takes f7 check. King h8, well if rook takes f7 then in this case queen d5 is very strong. If b6 then bishop takes c5 is coming, and then after the exchange of queens on c5 white can play bishop d5 and the game is over. That's why after e takes f7 check in our game we have king h8. But anyways, queen d5 is on the board, b6, and this time bishop d4. White is offering an exchange of dark squared bishops in order to weaken black's king side. Knight d3, of course the knight was untouchable because after bishop takes g7, black would lose his queen, that's why we see knight d3, and a powerful response by Sandrin, rook takes e7. White is sacrificing the knight on d2, queen takes d2, black accepted the sacrifice, but instead of queen takes d2, queen takes d5 was better, after which, although white has an advantage, but still black could have prolonged his resistance. But in our game we have queen takes d2, after which black king will soon find himself in a mating net. Now comes rook e8 with a direct mating threat. h6, well if queen b4 then queen d8 is very strong. In our game we have h6 and simply rook takes f8 check. King h7, After which white managed to announce a beautiful checkmate in 2 moves. You can pause the video and try to find white's next moves. Ready? In this position, Albert Sandrin first played rook h8 check, and after bishop takes h8. By the way, have you already found the mating line? Ready? Well, let's just have a look what is Suren holding in his hands. Ah, there it is. We have a white knight. Then let's promote the pawn to a knight. In this position, Albert Sandrin promoted his pawn to a knight, and believe it or not, but with this move he announced a checkmate. Look at this. A very unique checkmate, I think. White first sacrificed his knight on d2 and then went for an underpromotion, promoted his pawn to a knight and announced a checkmate. What a beautiful way of finishing up the game. Thanks for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this final checkmate. For more games, consider subscribing to my channel. I will see you in the next video.